Hello there, Skeleton Crew. As I said, its first 2 episodes come out, and it was a lot of fun. You can go watch a review of that here. But let's talk about the mystery of At Attin. So in Skeleton Crew, the primary goal of our characters is to get back to their home planet of At Aden, but on board the Onyx Cinder, the droid SM-33, who I will just call Smee at this point, says that he can't find the planet, instead listing out a bunch of other planets like Atollan and Aldani, so At Aden isn't in the star maps. And we later find out when they get to Port Borgo that At Aden is a lost planet that contains an eternal treasure.
Girls, whatever you're running from, you need a much better story than At Aden.
But it's true.
Really? You're a couple of Linderlings from the lost planet of eternal treasure.
Lost planet? Eternal treasure?
And all of a sudden, all the pirates want to get these kids so that they can find it. So what the hell is going on at Aden? At Aden? So let's go back to the planet and have a look at a few things here. First up is the barrier. Now this is a sort of shield that covers the entire planet, and it also blocks out the sky. When the Onyx Cinder first reached space, the kids were surprised to see stars and planets, hinting that they had never seen them before in real life, as the barrier had completely blocked them out. Now I think it's safe to assume that the barrier also blocks out any communications going in or out, along with any starships. Now in the High Republic series, the Nihil created something called the Storm Wall, and this was a barrier that cut off a part of the galaxy that the Nihil claimed for themselves, calling it the Occlusion Zone. It prevented both hyperspace travel through it and disrupted all communications as well. I wonder if this is a similar technology being used here at Aden. I gotta stop saying that. Now we hear a security droid say at one point that starships are not permitted to enter or leave At Aden, and that breaching the barrier is a serious violation.
Starships are not permitted to enter or leave.
You could be out past the barrier by now!
Breaching the barrier is a serious violation. The supervisor will not...
Gotta find him!
Now here's the thing. There are a lot of droids on this planet. They drive the buses, they teach at schools, and they make up what I assume is the majority, if not the entirety, of the security force. So is this a case of At Aden being completely under control of automation, or is there someone else at the head of all this that just wants to keep the planet cut off from the rest of the galaxy? The security droids mention the supervisor. Now whether or not this is another droid or another person, we're not sure yet. But we can safely assume that At Aden is cut off from the rest of the galaxy, as they're still using Old Republic credits as currency.
Where'd you two find an Old Republic credit in mint condition?
His dad gave it to him for lunch money.
And we see in the opening that at this point in time, New Republic credits are already in circulation. Now in addition to all of this, Undersecretary Farah, who is Fern's mother, Undersecretary to the Supervisor as well, I believe her title is, talks about something called the Great Work.
Once you're assigned a career path, you'll become part of our planet At Aden's contribution to the great work, keeping the Republic peaceful and strong.
Students, tell the Undersecretary how you would like to contribute to the great work.
Now this is something that was also in the High Republic. Funnily enough, on the very first page of Light of the Jedi, the very first book in the High Republic series. It is the time of the High Republic, a peaceful union of like-minded worlds where all voices are heard and governance is achieved through consensus, not coercion or fear. It is an era of ambition, of culture, of inclusion, of great works. Visionary Chancellor Lina So leads the Republic from the elegant city world of Coruscant, located near the bright center of the galactic core. Now another fun fact, at this point in Wim's story pad, little stories that he's reading there, I went back and translated all the Aurebesh in those, and there is another character in those stories called Lina. However, this one in the story is a Jedi because they have a lightsaber, whereas Chancellor Lina So in the High Republic books is not a Jedi, but there is a little fun little thread connection there. Now the Great Works in the High Republic were a series of projects during that era, which included the creation of Starlight Beacon, which was a massive space station that was all about connecting people, boosting communication signals in the Outer Rim, guiding travelers, and also acting as a hub for both the Jedi Order and the Republic Defense Coalition. So if At Aden is still striving for these great works, they've potentially been cut off from the rest of the galaxy since the High Republic, which is around 100 to 200 years before the Phantom Menace. A theory could be that At Aden acted as a sort of treasury for the Republic at that time, and when Starlight Beacon was destroyed by the Nihil, maybe At Aden went dark and cut themselves off in order to attempt to keep the Nihil from gaining access to that treasury. And then over time, maybe the myth of At Aden spreads around that it contains a great treasure, but no one can find them because they cut themselves off. It's a little bit of a wonky theory, but it's a theory nonetheless. I would love to hear some other theories about what's going on with this planet. I didn't really give a solid theory here. It was more just a like, hey, here are some things I noticed about At Aden and its connection to other works in Star Wars already. I think it is safe to assume that the planet has been cut off from the rest of the galaxy, as they are using a completely different currency to what's in circulation at this point in time, and everyone outside of the planet thinks that this planet doesn't exist and that it's a myth. So I am very interested to see how this is going to play out. There's a lot to dig into, and I am really enjoying theory crafting around this show. It's a ton of fun. The first 2 episodes are out. They were awesome. Lots of little Easter eggs and references, and there is a nice mystery for us to sink our teeth into. Anyway, so let me know what you think about At Aden and what you think is going on there. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, make sure you follow me here and on TikTok. I love talking about Star Wars, and I am really enjoying talking about Skeleton Crew at the moment. Anyway, follow if you want to. Thank you for watching. May the Force be with you. Always.